Morning, guys. We're going to make our lasagna rolls and garlic bread. So we'll be referencing everything you saw in the butter making video and the ricotta cheese making video. All right, so we'll start with the lasagna rolls. I have already cooked the lasagna noodles, so when you go to the grocery store, you'll see two different kinds of noodles. You can get oven-ready lasagna noodles or regular lasagna noodles. The oven-ready, you don't have to boil them ahead of time, and therefore traditional layering lasagna. So you want the regular lasagna noodles, not the oven-ready kind, because you'll have to boil these first so you can roll them. So now we're going to make the filling. So I have about 1/4 of an onion. You're going to just mince it up nice and fine, because you want it to cook down like we've always talked about. You're not wanting to feel the onion. You want it to be an ingredient that blends in. So super fine mince on your onion. It's about 1/4 of an onion. You can't get anything small anymore, so there are no like small onions. You're going to get a huge onion. About 1/4 to 1/3 of it is more than enough. Super, super fine. Using those knife skills, make sure you're holding your knife properly. And that's what allows you to get better and better and increase your speed as you go. Okay, it's pretty good. So I'm going to add that to about 3 cups of ricotta cheese, which is just a large container if you buy it, or what you'll get if you make it from a gallon of whole milk like you saw in the video yesterday. I'm going to add my onion. Now I'm going to mince up 2 cloves of garlic. Remember, I've taken that dry papery skin off. I'm going to whack that little dry root end off, because you will eventually find it. Somebody will when you're eating it. So mince up your garlic as well. Once again, nice and fine. You guys know how to do this. No big chunks. Guess what? I'm ordering new knives. So excited for our kitchens. I'm getting the good ones. Okay, so I've added the onion, the garlic to our ricotta cheese. I'm going to add about 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Parmesan's a nice dry, salty cheese that adds a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to add about 2 cups to 3 cups of shredded mozzarella. That's our good melty cheese. I don't know how much that was, 2 or 3 cups. That's a nice thing about it. It can be whatever you want with this for the most part, but that's the melting cheese that gives it that nice stretch and texture. Then you need it to hold together, so I'm going to add two eggs as our binder, which we've talked about that before as well. Oops, dropped a little shell. Got it. All right, so right now it's just cheese and egg. So there's not a lot of flavor. I did add the onion and garlic. Those are the aromatics, but I'm going to add about, what is that? It is Italian seasoning. I don't have my glasses on. About 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. About 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper. About 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. About 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And if you have fresh herbs, all the better. The dry work just fine. All right, so I'm going to mix up our filling, and that's all there is to it. Just make sure it's well blended and that your cheeses are incorporated with each other. Your seasonings are all through. And then I'll show you how we roll them. The nice thing about lasagna rolls is once you have them rolled, you can freeze them individually, get them out and microwave them real quick for a quick meal, or you can freeze the whole pan, then bring it out and bake it, or you can just make them and eat them. Okay, so we have our filling well blended. So there's a good bite of everything all the way through. All right, so I'm going to set that off to the side and show you how we're going to roll them. All right, so like I said, I have our lasagna noodles pre-cooked. Just take a lasagna noodle. Now I like mine with a little bit of spinach, so I'll do some with spinach, some without. You could do cooked and drained Italian sausage. You could do ground beef if you like your lasagna with ground beef. So I'm just going to, actually I'll do mine cheese first. So I have a lasagna noodle cooked, laid out. I'm going to take sort of a little smear of this down the noodle. It doesn't take a ton because as you roll it, you need to be able to, it won't squish out the sides. So I'm going to take just a little bit more here. And there's no way around, you got to kind of mush it down with your hands. It's just the way it works. So like I said, right now if you had cooked ground Italian sausage, you could layer that on there, whatever. Then I'm going to take my spinach leaves, lay a few of those on there. Then I will just start at this end. Notice I didn't go all the way to the ends, it just helps a little bit. And I'm just going to roll it relatively tightly and just kind of push your cheese back in as it squishes out the sides. And there you go, that's all there is to it. So at this point, you can make a bunch of these and like I said, lay them on a cookie sheet, put them in your freezer, let them individually freeze and then put them in a bag and they're ready to go. Or you can do what I'm going to do, which is layer them in a pan with sauce and bake them like lasagna. So give me one quick second here. I forgot my towel, so you're going to see me wipe my hands. So I'm going to take my baking sheet. I'm going to put a layer of sauce on the bottom. You have to do that or they will stick. So just a little layer of sauce, bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to lay them with my seam side down and just fill my pan. And that's all there is to it. All right.